Hey, my Love is Blind fans. Yes, we are back to that particular episode we've been waiting for. I know 5 couples left the pods engaged this season, but those are not the couples who actually walked down the aisle to get married. And it's time to find out if love is truly blind once again. Welcome back to Romance Review TV. It's Lady T. I got another recap for you guys. Love is Blind, Season 4, Episode number 12. And without any further ado, let's talk about this episode. So, as we are now completing Season 4, we're down to the finale, and after all of the highs, all of the lows, and all of the fiancé swapping that's going on, 3 couples actually tied the knot while only 1 couple crashed and burned at the altar. So, the question is, who said I do and who got dumped? So, after last week's cliffhangers, it left us wondering if Kwame would get married to Chelsea after she said I do to him first. Well, we find out their fate right away, and it is shocking. Now, despite his mom not attending the wedding or even agreeing to meet with Chelsea, Kwame says I do. And I know nobody saw that coming, except for maybe Chelsea, who has been the queen of ignoring any of the red flags this season. So yes, at the altar, they both said yes to each other. And even Chelsea said, I love you and I'm ready for the most beautiful adventure of life with you as your wife forever. As for Kwame telling his bride, I love the way you make me feel. I love when we disagree because it makes us come back together and let us know how strong we are. Trail, or his love of travel, or his disapproving mom. Yeah, whatever the threat was that she whispered to Kwame behind closed door clearly worked, because he and Chelsea are now legally married. They have a little glass of champagne. Kwame is clearly in shock because all he can say is amazing, and he is right. We are definitely and truly amazed. We then get to their reception, and I mean, honestly, they are looking like they're more connected than ever. So I'm questioning on whether this was over edited. Maybe we're missing some pieces. But honestly, it seemed like they really love each other and they're very much into each other. Now that moves us quickly to Michael and Paul, and that alcohol label speaks volumes for this wedding. It looks like Micah, of course, is wearing her fluffy sandals. Paul is still sporting his hiking socks, and they appear to have a lot of differences. Now, Shelby is still there with all of anything that she can come up with to make this wedding go awry. Paul appears uneasy and starts a group poll to see if he should get married, as he does not have the right tools to make a decision. And during the ceremony, Micah even asked Paul to answer first when it's her turn to say I do. And guess what? Paul says I don't. And then, of course, this is what we see happen after that.
I wanted to announce that, like, what's right for me is right for both of us.
Oh my god.
And of course, we were wondering about Shelby, Micah's so-called best friend. And of course, that's right, she was smiling. She's relieved. That's what she wanted to happen. I mean, what the heck? What type of friend do you have to smile over your sadness? And whatever the plan Shelby and Micah had, Paul clearly didn't fit into that plan. But why would you laugh when your friend just got dumped at the altar? Now, as the guests leave, wondering why they went all of that way for this, Paul tried to comfort Micah, which is the last thing she wants to do right now. And I mean, he goes on to explain his reasoning for saying that I don't, saying that in the addition of his mismatching feelings, he couldn't see Micah as a nurturing mother. Ooh, yeah, that was rough. But I mean, even before she left the altar, she ended up telling Paul, honestly, she felt like that's exactly what he was going to say in the first place. And that she thinks that this whole time, she wanted to feel feel shown and told that you love me and you want to be with me and never felt safe. And she think that this moment shows that it's kind of validated. So it's over for these two unless they decided to come back together, which we'll find out at the reunion in the next episode. So, of course, my favorite couple this season, Brett and Tiffany's wedding, is next. And was there any other question that they weren't going to get married, no matter that whole preview they tried to throw us off? Both of these two are over the moon, and Brett is in his good wedding sneakers. I mean, he had them Jordans, and they were gorgeous anyway. Tiffany crying about how much she loves him. Brett finally meets Tiffany's father and opens up about his mother's mental condition. And I mean, how are we still learning new trauma about Brett's family on the day of his wedding? I mean, seriously, there's a lot to peel back with Brett. However, the next layer is Brett has a secret groomzilla moment. And his whole thing about his pants not fitting properly. And I guess they actually had the seamstress on standby who fixes his pants in a half an hour. And then he ended up right there on time at the wedding. But I did like that moment that he did have with her father. I know I kind of briefly talked about that earlier. But yep, he got Tiffany's dad's blessing. Everything else was pretty much a masterpiece. Brett's crying when he see his wife Tiffany walking down the aisle. But even before that, Marshall came in to cheer the two of them on. And I thought that was cool, you know, their little bromance that they got going on, especially how everything imploded with Marshall and Jackie. So at least, you know, it's kind of bittersweet for him because he came in this process, them coming down the aisle. However, his vows was like, I felt love in your voice. I felt love in the way you talked to me. I felt love in the way that you made me feel. In general, I felt love. You made me feel like I can be a better man, not only for me, but for you as well as our future family. You made me feel like we have a perfect pairing. I truly found like I found my life partner in you. And then Tiffany tells her groom, and of course she got tears, every stage in this process you have been consistently yourself, and that's how I knew that I was in love with you. It wasn't a physical thing, it was simply how you spoke to my soul. I mean, yeah, these two were remarkable. I absolutely love the vows. And then, of course, it was cute after everybody was cheering here. He's a Scorpio, she's a Sag. Yeah, normally those two signs are not a match, but hey, it is what it is. That stuff is just for entertainment. So beautiful. I absolutely love this wedding, and I can go on and on and on about it. I just hope that, you know, now that this beautiful day is now behind them, that now the work begins with these two and they make it work. Hopefully we got good news in the next episode. But even before that, this girl here, and I'm not mad at her, she got a personal request before they head off into their reception. You guys got to check this out.
We're going to go to the bridal suite and we're going to get it out, okay? Come on.
Yes, Brett and Tiffany run off to consummate the marriage in the bridal suite. And during their confessional, Tiffany looks so blissed out that she could barely even speak. And I am so happy for these two. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds. So last but certainly not least, Bliss and Zach. And we know that they had a very untraditional journey to the altar, with Zach breaking up with Bliss in the pods to propose to Irina. However, they found their way back to each other. And with it now being Bliss and Zach's wedding at this point, the ceremony is being held together by two things, Leanne Womack and owls. Now, Zach is determined to go through with the wedding because he's not willing to propose to someone for a third time. The question mark here, though, is Bliss, because her dad has not warmed up to Zach anymore in the past couple days. He literally tells Bliss to never settle. Right before she walks down the aisle, he said that. But Bliss barely even blinked at it. I mean, she clearly has had a lot of therapy to deal with her dad and can easily shut off that part of her brain that comprehends any of those comments. Now we can understand how she took on Irina in the pods. Now, at the altar, Zach, of course, launches into one of his classic speeches about how he only knew he loved Bliss up until he dumped her. And he said that not once, not twice. He said that 3 times in a row in his speech. He is determined to make sure that she gets it, that, yeah, I'm here for you. And the only way that I got here is because I had to see what I was missing. And I was missing you. But shockingly, Bliss says yes too, and her dad even looked happy. I mean, what's happening here? Obviously, it could be production edits or whatever. They had their first dance later on at the reception. And I mean, yeah, I thought this was really cute toward the end because I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure. They got that kiss in, and that's one thing. It's not just an emotion, it's a commitment. And they are now, of course, signing their marriage licenses. They're showing the world that we are officially married. And I guess this gets to prove that, especially since we have, out of the 4 couples who got married, 3 of them did. 1 of them, not so much. And we don't know what happened after that until the next episode. But yeah, is love truly blind? I guess if these 3 are still together to this date, it is truly blind. Okay, so let's get the conversation started down in the comment section. I mean, hey, we do have, of course, this whole reunion coming up this Sunday, tomorrow, April the 16th, and all of this may come crashing down as we get to know what happened with our 3 married couples. So we got to stay tuned for that. And of course, I'll be doing a recap on that as well. So I hope you enjoyed this recap. Stay tuned for other recaps and updates on this channel. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.